Others forage and barely get a meal, but he succeeds brilliantly, catching a huge wild boar and enjoying tender, juicy donkey meat, also spearing a 125-gram squid. Chewy shrimp tails, leftover pork smoked into jerky. Protein never stops. The Sulu Sea between Malaysia and the Philippines has hundreds of uninhabited islands. Countless sailors have perished here over the centuries. In this episode, Bear Grylls books a helicopter to challenge one remote island, ascending to 3,000 meters. He preys on the skid and leans back to jump. Faith guides his leap. Hovering briefly in the air, he opens the parachute and lands on the island, easily catching on a tree. He aims for the surrounding deep water. Although the island seems only 700 to 800 meters away, experience tells the sea makes distances 3 times longer. Times 3. Bear Grylls carefully makes his way ashore. Unlike tropical islands with coconuts and beaches, this one is barren, volcanic rock piled high. To survey the island, the high point is the best choice. Through tangled vegetation, a near vertical cliff blocks the path, smooth and gripless. Vines from the top help him climb. Technique: keep rhythm and use leg strength to rise. Early energy helps. He reaches 2 to 3 meters from the top. Seeking more thrill, he swings to another vine and flips onto a tree root. Hands aching, he rests briefly, then continues toward the summit. Finally, he reaches an open area with wide views of the coastline below. A beach appears. He plans to camp there for food and rescue. 3 steps forward, 2 back through the jungle, he spots another island. If resources here run short, he could raft over to explore. For now, shelter comes first. On the beach, he selects a tall tree to build a treehouse between 2 trunks. Driftwood becomes a bed platform, secured with vines, forming a simple shelter. Next is food. A small fire attracts fish at night. Meanwhile, he crafts a fishing spear from a forked branch. When night falls, he hunts, initially missing a few times. Finally, he strikes a fish, about 125 grams, and grills it over the fire. 10 minutes later, the aroma fills the camp. He bites in, tender and protein-rich. Well fed, he sleeps soundly until morning. Early, he sets a tripod to signal passing boats and constructs bamboo channels to collect rainwater. Next, he builds a simple raft with Simon. 10 minutes later, they reach the opposite shore and enter the jungle. He notices wild pig tracks and plans a hunting trap. Using branches and rope, he builds a funnel-shaped trap. Soon a boar steps in. The snare tightens, and Grylls finishes it with a spear. With this boar, food for weeks is secured. He returns to camp safely. He prepares the boar for later use. Bamboo channels double as a roof and water collector for the shelter. Rainwater is now ready to use. Next, he plans to explore the nearby small island by raft, gathering logs and bamboo. He constructs a simple raft. Each takes a raft, and the islands are not far apart. After 10 minutes of rowing, they reach the other side. No time to rest, Grylls heads into the jungle. Up a hill, he spots animal tracks. Pig footprints in mud inspire a hunting plan. He plans a funnel-shaped brush barrier along the ridge. Traps set at the bottleneck for capture. Branches laid, rope set, leaves cover the trap. Boars step in, snare tightens. The trap works perfectly. Bear Grylls drives animals toward it. Time passes. A boar approaches the trap. Grylls and Simon follow closely. The boar steps in. The snare tightens, struggling wildly. Wild instincts make it dangerous. Grylls waits until exhaustion. He approaches with a spear. Strikes the heart. The boar is secured. Food supply secured for weeks. Boar placed at camp front. Grylls prepares to return. Everything is ready for the next adventure. Survival complete for now. He can rest easy. Sharks at camp can smell blood from 1.6 kilometers away. so the return trip must be swift or the prey could be lost to sharks. Luckily, Simon has the meat in hand, and they return safely. Worried that high temperatures might spoil the pork, Bear Grylls builds a smoking rack with branches. He places the prepared pork on it to dehydrate and cure, keeping it good for at least 2 weeks. That night, he grills tender pork loin for dinner, the best part of the boar. Soon, the meat sizzles over the fire, releasing rich aromas. Juices burst in the mouth, a true delight. Protein content is thousands of times that of beef. The next morning, a heavy rain pours on the island. Grylls spreads his arms and enjoys the shower. Finally, he can drink freely. They say the bigger the fish, the rougher the waters. Grylls cuts a plastic bottle in half, wraps it in plastic film, making a container. He heads to the coral area to catch a fish, the same raft as before. He sees many small fish in the water, takes a deep breath, focuses, and uses a rock to probe a hole in the coral reef. Spotting a big grouper, he's thrilled. "I will be back," he says. He surfaces for air, then dives to chase the fish. He drives it underwater from below, finally surfacing with it. It weighs about 1.25 kilograms and is brought back to camp. He grills it over the fire until fragrant. He slices the whole tail into pieces. Eating the steaming shrimp tail is pure delight, giving energy and taste satisfaction. Simon watches with envy, while Grylls closes his eyes and enjoys every bite. Full and content, he rows across again the next day to explore the island. If wild boars survive here, fresh water must exist somewhere on the island. He searches carefully and finds it. A dry riverbed leads upstream to 2 still water pools. Just as he prepares to drink, he hears the roar of an engine. A ship passes by the sea. Hope of rescue appears. Grylls and Simon swim toward it. This completes the challenge.